This video training is being brought to you by SQL Server 2012 tutorial.com. The topic of this series that we are starting today is SQL Tutorials by Cache Part 1. And today we are going to be basically looking at the SQL update statement. If you want to know more information about these videos or to learn more about SQL Server 2012 tutorial software information, please visit our site that is listed here. So let's get going. Well, as far as the update statement, basically this is the query that is used to update or modify data in a table or a view in a database. This is part of the DML statements, which stands for data manipulation language. What that means is that you use these along with let's say insert, update, select statements to manipulate the data. This is different than DDL, which is data definition language, which would be things like creating table and other objects. But anyway, using the update statement, you can update a single field, multiple fields, single record, or multiple records. We do need to use the where clause to limit affected rows. Without the where clause, you will be updating all of the rows in a table. Oops. That does happen in real life, but just a word of caution on that. Now, the update query can also use a subselect, which is also known as a subquery. We're not going to look at this last point. Possibly we may have another separate video on that, because that we're getting into a little bit of advanced topic, so we want to keep things simple. So moving on, as far as the syntax for an update statement, it's fairly simple. You basically start with the update keyword clause. You add your table or a view. A view, by the way, is a virtual table that you can create on top of one or more tables, but we're not going to take a look at that. And then after the update keyword, you're going to do a set. This is where you are assigning the value to one or more columns. So here we have column 1 is equal to some value, and then column 2 is equal to some value, where certain conditions are true. Okay. Now, the common wisdom or conventional wisdom really is to use upper caps for SQL keywords. So you'll notice that when I'm using update, it's capitalized, and other objects are not. Now, this doesn't have to be this way. It's just a common practice. You can actually do everything lowercase, uppercase, or mixed, whatever your little heart desires. Okay. Regarding the syntax, if you wanted more information, you are free to visit this website that we have included. We are primarily going to be working with SQL Server. In your case, you may have Oracle or MySQL or some other database, but the basic syntax does apply across the board. Now, like I just mentioned, for our queries today, we will be using Northwind database. This is a sample database that has been around for decades, literally. But I like to use it because it's got a simple schema structure which is easy to understand. And for today's demo, we are going to be using SQL Server 2012. And that's the latest and greatest enterprise level database from Microsoft. Now, specifically, what are we going to do today? Okay, so we are going to be updating customers table, and we will show you a single field and also multiple fields. We are also going to be updating the same table, but this time we will use multiple rows as it's mentioned here. And then finally, we're going to switch gears and then try to update one table with information from another table. I am missing one item in here. We are also going to be updating orders table, okay, with some information too. I believe it is multiple rows. Okay, so those are the things we will be doing. So let's go ahead and switch to SQL Server Management Studio. I'm already logged in. If you do not, if you're not familiar with Management Studio, like I mentioned, I would recommend checking out videos, or you can go to our site. Let me just highlight this one also. We have lot of free stuff. We have a blog that we discuss information on SQL Server and whatnot. So feel free to check that out in order to learn more. For this video, we are assuming that you already are familiar with Management Studio. Okay. Now I'm logged in. I just want to show you under my databases. I expand. I will have Northwind database. I already have some tables and data in here. Before we get going, let me just show you the customer table. By the way, you'll notice I have a few copies here. It's the same table really. I'm just playing around with different data, but you'll notice that here is our basic information from the customer table. Things like customer ID, company name, contact information, some address information, phone numbers, fax numbers. So fairly straightforward layout in here. Okay. Now for our demo, what we have done is we have already saved some of these scripts. I will actually walk you through the actual update statements, but just to save time, and I'm sure you do not need to see me type every single character in here. So I did some of the legwork already. Now again, this for our examples today, we are going to use SQL Server Northwind database and using SQL Server 2012. Okay. Before we get going, this is really more FYI if you're new to SQL Server, that the lines in green, so anything that is green like the one I'm showing you, are comments, and typically they'll start with a dash dash. So you notice here, this one is starting with two dashes. These are commas. So in other words, SQL Server does not execute this when we try to run the code. And items that are in blue and purple, I don't have an update, but when I start writing an update statement, you'll notice that that is I don't even know if it's purple. It's more like pink, I guess. My eyesight is going down by the minute, but these are going to be the SQL keywords. Okay, so this really, why do we have this? Just really to give you a visual idea of your code. Okay, so enough chatter. Let's get down to business. I'm going to select the data first. Okay, so all I'm doing is I'm doing a select star from customers. Let me move this up, and of course we have no data because I am in the wrong database. So I'm going to select Northwind and then execute this. So like I said, this is the same data that you just looked at. Now here's what we're trying to do. Okay, we really need to do an update in a single column. We would like to update the country for all the records that have USA in them, and we would like to change it to America. Okay, because we don't like the acronym. We would like to want to use the whole thing. And I just scroll to the right. If you look at the column in the table, this is what I'm talking about. If we go down here, you'll notice that here we have a customer. Let's go back and find out. Great Lakes Food Market Company. They are in USA. We would like to change basically the country. Instead of USA here, it should say America. So how do we do that? Well, let's filter down a little bit, what we are trying to look at. So let me just, I'm selecting only four fields from the table, and I'm limiting, you'll notice here. So the way you read this is select company name, city, country, region from the customers table. Well, I only want what? I want those customers that are in USA, okay? Because we don't really care about the rest of the world. Actually, that's not true. But for our purposes, we're just doing that, okay? So here, if you look at the bottom right, we have 13 rows, okay? I'm going to change all of these to America. How do I do that? Well, let's follow our syntax, okay? So I'm just going to retype it. So you start with update. Well, what are we trying to update? We are trying to update customers table, okay? And I am going to update what? Well, I would like to update the country field, Okay, and I will like to change this to America, so you just put a single quote. Okay, I forgot a key thing here. We are trying to set, right? We have to use that command. So we're trying to do set country is equal to America. Well, which rows? Where we only want to change the ones where country, and you'll notice that SQL Server gives you a little bit hint that it finds the field, so you can select this if you wanted to. Well, we only want to change those records where it's USA. Okay, so that's all there is to it. It's a very simple update command. In SQL Server, if you want to highlight and run a specific code, you just select that, okay, and then you can either hit F5 or this button execute. Okay, so let's go ahead and run that. Now notice it says 13 rows affected, so I'm going to copy this and just put that in here, just so I can keep track of things. Now if I go back, okay, and run this, I'm actually going to bring it down here. Okay, notice that the records have been changed, but in fact if I run USA, it doesn't return anything. Why doesn't it return anything? Well, we changed it, right? We changed it to America. So I'm going to copy paste that here. Now when I run this bad boy, notice this. Our friends at Great Lakes Food Market, they have changed their country name, or actually we have changed their country to America. Okay, so that's a very simple update statement. Okay, so keep that in mind. This did affect put this in there just to kind of keep track of things. So this did affect 13 rows. Okay, all right, well that's great. What else can we do? Well, we can do a lot. We can not only update one column, but we can also certainly update multiple columns. Okay, so let's say we wanted to update the region field. Well, what do? I'm going to be a little bit lazy here. Copy this command. Okay, bring it down here. This time, not only am I changing the country, I would like to change the region. Okay, and let's just call the region US. Before I run this, I do want to show you something. Let me highlight this, execute it, and I want you to look at the last column. Okay, see this? The region right now, they're using the states. Okay, that's fine. This is in Washington. We got some the big cheese. I love that. I'm actually grew up in Wisconsin, so I like that one. It should be Wisconsin in there. But anyway, let's keep focused here. I would like to change this one to US. Okay, and obviously the country to America, which it already is, but this just shows you that we're updating multiple fields. So now I'm going to highlight this, run it again. It says it didn't affect anything. Ooh, because I have a problem. I do not have any records that say USA now. We say America, right? So I need to change this. Okay, now I'm going to run this again, and voila, it's affecting 13 rows. Let's copy this here. Okay, clear the area a little bit. Now when I go back, okay, and look at the region column, which is the last one, nice, everything is switched to US. Okay,